If you're ever in Japan and find yourself craving a juicy mango, you absolutely need to be incredibly careful how you pronounce that simple word, because if you get it just slightly wrong, you might accidentally be uttering one of the most vulgar insults in the entire Japanese language. That's right, the everyday English word mango can, with a slight slip of the tongue, become an utterly offensive term for female genitalia, a word so crude it's rarely, if ever, spoken aloud in polite Japanese society. Manko. Imagine you've just landed in Tokyo, jet-lagged but excited to explore. You stumble into a vibrant local market, your eyes drawn to a colorful display of tropical fruits. Among them, bright, alluring mangoes. You point, you smile, and with the best intentions, you attempt to ask for one, perhaps saying something like mango with a typical English pronunciation. What you don't realize is that the soft G sound and the drawn-out O at the end of the English word can easily be misheard by a Japanese speaker as the highly offensive manko, pronounced manko, with a hard K and a clipped O sound. The shift is subtle to the untrained ear, but the cultural impact is like night and day. I keep coming back to these linguistic traps because they're not just funny anecdotes, they are profound windows into how different cultures perceive and categorize sound. English speakers are used to their ng sound, as in sing or long, but Japanese doesn't quite have that same blend. When a Japanese ear hears man-go, their brain tries to fit it into familiar patterns, and depending on the emphasis and vowel length, it can unfortunately align with man-ko. You might just be asking for fruit, but to them, it sounds like you're shouting an obscenity. It's a moment that could turn a pleasant shopping trip into a truly cringeworthy misunderstanding, leaving both you and the vendor utterly bewildered, or worse, deeply offended. So, how do you avoid this particular linguistic landmine and secure your delicious fruit without causing an international incident? The key lies in understanding Japanese phonetics, specifically the difference between a short vowel and a long vowel. The correct Japanese word for mango is mengo, mango. Notice that little bar over the O that signifies a long vowel sound. So instead of mango like you'd say it in English, you need to articulate it as mango-o, consciously drawing out that final O sound. It makes all the difference. That elongation tells the listener that you're talking about the sweet fruit, not the crude slang. It feels a bit unnatural at first, almost like you're exaggerating, but it's crucial for clarity. This isn't just about mangoes, of course. It's a prime example of why linguistic humility is so vital when traveling. Many English words, especially those with similar phonetic structures, can inadvertently wander into culturally sensitive territory. What seems like an innocuous syllable to us can be loaded with meaning in another language. Think about the subtle differences in tone, the quickness of a vowel, the emphasis on a consonant. These are the tiny hinges upon which massive misunderstandings often swing. And sometimes, these differences can be genuinely hilarious after the fact, but in the moment, they can create real discomfort. Have you ever accidentally said something embarrassing in another language, or perhaps witnessed someone else's linguistic slip-up? Share your most memorable or cringeworthy stories in the comments below. You might just help someone else avoid a similar mishap on their next trip. The stakes might seem low for asking about a fruit, but such missteps highlight a deeper cultural divide. In many parts of the world, especially in a polite society like Japan, explicit language carries a much heavier weight than it might in casual English conversation. What might be considered merely rude or a bit edgy in English could be seen as profoundly disrespectful or shocking in Japanese. Manko isn't a word you'd ever hear in mainstream media or casual public discourse. It's truly a taboo, something only used in extreme anger or incredibly crude contexts. So, to inadvertently utter something so potent when simply trying to buy groceries can be a jarring experience for everyone involved. It underscores the responsibility we have as travelers to learn at least the basics of local communication. To truly prevent this particular gaffe, practice is key. Before you even set foot in a Japanese market, take a moment to listen to the pronunciation of mango from a native speaker online. Repeat it out loud. Pay attention to the rhythm and the length of the vowels. When you're in the moment, if you feel unsure, don't hesitate to use gestures. Point clearly to the fruit, and if you have a translation app on your phone, use it. There's no shame in seeking clarification. In fact, attempting to speak the local language, even imperfectly, is usually met with appreciation. The effort itself conveys respect, even if your pronunciation isn't perfect. This whole scenario reminds me that language isn't just a collection of words. It's a living, breathing part of a culture's identity, full of hidden rules and unspoken implications. What sounds innocent to us can be a loaded term elsewhere. These false friends, these linguistic doppelgangers, are a powerful reminder that while we all share similar human experiences, the ways we articulate them are incredibly diverse and nuanced. It's a humbling lesson, and one that ultimately makes travel all the more fascinating. This particular encounter with mango is just one vivid thread in the astonishingly complex tapestry of global communication. What you often discover, usually through a blush-inducing mistake, is that every language is a subtle minefield of cultural nuances waiting to trip up even the most well-meaning traveler. It forces me to question everything I thought I knew about simply translating phrases. You quickly realize that a word isn't just its dictionary definition, it carries an invisible weight, a history, and a whole spectrum of emotional baggage within a specific community. Consider, for instance, how a casual hello can be wildly different in its formality and implications across cultures. A warm, familiar greeting here, a surprisingly blunt interruption there. It's never just a word-for-word exchange. It's always a cultural key, unlocking or locking doors to connection. I often find myself wondering how many more of these linguistic landmines are out there, just waiting for an unsuspecting foot to step on them. It sparks a deep curiosity in me, and I genuinely love to hear about your experiences. Have you ever accidentally said something completely innocent in your own language, only to realize it was deeply offensive, wildly inappropriate, or just plain awkward in another? Share those bewildering moments below. I genuinely enjoy reading your stories. These aren't merely fodder for embarrassing anecdotes. They are profound lessons in empathy and cross-cultural understanding. They compel us to listen more intently, to observe more keenly, and to constantly question our inherent assumptions about how the world should work. The true gift of exploring these linguistic oddities isn't just about skillfully sidestepping a social faux pas. It's about gaining a fresh perspective, seeing the world through an entirely different lens. You begin to appreciate the sheer ingenuity and boundless diversity of human expression, the unique ways countless societies have chosen to package meaning and nuanced emotion into a string of sounds. If this deep dive into the hidden complexities of language helps you navigate your next journey a little more smoothly, or simply ignites your curiosity about the rich world beyond basic translation apps, perhaps you'll want to explore more such insights with us. It truly reinforces the idea that genuine fluency isn't about perfect grammar or an extensive vocabulary. It's about understanding the unspoken rules, the underlying rhythm, and the very soul of a language. If you're finding these insights into the subtle art of travel and language truly helpful for your next adventure, consider subscribing to Layover Lingo. We unpack cultural nuances and help you avoid awkward moments like these every single week, turning potential pitfalls into stepping stones for a richer travel experience. Ultimately, the story of Mango and Manco is a parable for all cross-cultural communication. It's about listening deeply, learning patiently, and approaching every new linguistic encounter with a blend of curiosity and humility. It's not just about avoiding an embarrassing mistake, it's about opening ourselves up to the incredible richness and complexity of human expression. When you manage to correctly say mango and get that sweet, delicious fruit, you'll not only satisfy your craving, but also feel a small sense of accomplishment, having successfully navigated a subtle linguistic maze. What other English words do you think might cause unexpected trouble in Japanese or any other language? Let us know in the comments. Your curiosity helps us all navigate the world with a little more grace and a lot more laughter.